Welcome back to another video series of what I call Daily Insight, in which I will break something down dealing with either marketing and visibility, hiring and retention, or community insight for us to all learn and grow from. I also want to shout out our sponsor, Intelligent Office, downtown Nashville, your leader in virtual office solutions for any business looking to expand and make sure that they have a great automated process to build their business. And so, what we're going to talk about today is marketing and visibility. And we're going to focus on lead generation. I feel like this is in my heart right now for us to talk about. Forgive me, I don't have my watch on. We're going to talk about lead generation. And we talk about marketing and visibility. Usually in my book, I'm focused on, in my skill set, lead generation, brand awareness, and cross promotion opportunities. That's where I'm at. How do I help you generate more leads? How do I help you create more awareness about your brand? And how do we put you in front of other great brands to cross promote, to intertwine potential audiences for, again, new leads? And so we're going to talk about the lead generation process and just pretty much something for you to think about as you are growing your business or your personal business or a company you're working for. So let's see what that looks like. So when we talk about the lead generation process, and as we know, process is the second part of a three-part system, which is input, process, and output. Input, process, and output creates what we call a system. Excuse my shirt. And so what we're talking about is the actual process of lead generation. Not necessarily the input or the output, but what does that process look like in this system? Well, when it comes to marketing and visibility and lead generation, the biggest thing you want to focus on is making sure when it comes to your brand and your message, or your brand really, is people need to, or prospects need to know, like, and trust you. When it comes to marketing visibility, that's pretty much what it boils down to. Someone has to first know you exist, then like the fact that you exist and what you're offering and can see the solution and the need you're providing, and then they have to trust you to be able to provide that solution at the minimum to them. So they have to first get to like you, then tolerate you and appreciate you, and then trust you enough to deliver on what you are going to do. And these are all different processes that require various separate steps within those processes. So that's something for us to think about in anything that we do in our relationships. As a business advisor and a relationship management expert myself, and for those that don't know, fun fact, I'm also a registered Lord of Glencoe in the country of Scotland, courtesy of Hylton titles, as I build an international brand. But again, so with that, and so a Lord, the Lordship title is something that I use to stimulate minds and to break ice. And I should have a video of my Lordship explainer video, 5-minute video, for you to get a better understanding of that process. But ultimately, we're talking about people knowing, liking, and trust you. That's a process, and that's hard to do. So how do you get started as a business? Or if you're looking if you're a nonprofit, how do you get started? Well, the biggest thing is we have to understand, and this is what social media networks and multi-level marketing networks have understood and are understanding and overstanding, and it really boils down to your network. I believe a lot of people try to do advertising and to get the word out and to really advertise and get the word out and promote. That's great. You need that because people need to know you exist. They need to know about your service or product. But just because you're advertising and they know about it, you also then, once they know about it, you have to get them to like and then trust you. So you're saying, man, I paid all this money for advertisement, and all these people saw, according to the analytics, they saw, all these people saw my message. But guess what? That's the first step. They now know you. But now you have to build a process where they like and trust you to basically pay for whatever you're doing. And that's why some companies with their automated system or either through technology or automated system through great human capital are so successful because they are great at not only generating leads, but once the lead is generated, they're great at converting those leads into opportunities where people know, like, and trust you. And so that's a process. So keep that in mind. And when I think about that, I think about what makes my business so influential and what I do. It's because people want my network. And I always make it clear that I have access to business, community, and civic leaders in urban areas to increase your customer base or your community presence at the minimum. That's my network. So I want you to be mindful of your network, not only the size of your network, but respectfully who's within your network to see if it's valuable. And what I mean by that is I have 3 circles here. Each circle represents a network. You have the smaller circle, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a couple of dots within the circle. That's the people, your network, in the small circle. So if you know a few people, then there's a few people or little people. If you don't know a lot of people, then you will have a smaller circle compared to someone that knows quite a bit of people. And these little dots represent people. So now if you were to put all the people together, guess what? You got to draw a bigger circle because this person knows more people. But if you look at this third circle, look how many people this person knows, maybe even likes, and maybe even trust me as an individual. Look how many people may know, like, and trust me. And so the thing we have to keep in mind is, where is the source, or where is that network where I can introduce my message, my product or service? Because it's going to be the size of your network or the size of your source that's going to allow you to produce or allow you to create traffic. Pretty much traffic for you to start your sales process, if you will. So my point is, you want to go to a high trafficked area, a high trafficked area. I'll say it like that. You want to go to a high traffic area because you don't need to do as much advertising because there's people already there. That's why the term location is so important, because if you're in a prime location where there's people, and more importantly, people that need what you're providing, you don't have to do a lot of advertising, because you're going to have people walk up and down or past your business all the time. So the only real advertisement you may need to do is just a sign in front of your building, if you will, and signs around the immediate area, directing people to your building or to your phone number. And so that's why social media is so big now, because Facebook, Instagram, X, it's called X now, and a few other platforms, as we know, they have all the people. And that's why they're making so much money. These social media networks are making so much money, because they know, hey, we have all these people. So all you got to do is pay us to advertise to these people, which is great. But guess what? They still don't know, like, and trust you. The people that are within these networks know, like, and trust the network. For example, the people within Facebook know, like, and trust Facebook. The people within Instagram know, like, and trust Instagram. So they're willing to not only participate in the social media activity on those platforms, but they are aware that they're going to get advertisement from people and organizations and brands, because they're aware that, one, this is the largest space where people are housed, if you will, and these platforms are aware that, hey, we have all these people within our network. Obviously, if you're a brand, you can market to them, if you will. And so I just want you to understand, the point is, how do you grow your network? And the thing is, you can go to these various social media sites and different platforms to get people to know you, and then direct them to your own personal network, if you will, to your own personal group. So that way you look up and your group is getting larger and larger and larger. That brings more value, because you have more opportunities for people to want to have access to your network. I'll give you an example. I don't want to ramble too long, but I'm thinking of a previous client that and the owner was a mentor. And this a few years ago, and they told me, they said, Donovan, my business provides, X service, but what makes my business truly valuable is the contacts I have in my database, which are well over, I don't want to put the number, but prospects and people that I have in my database. That's the reason why people want to buy my company. Not the only reason, but people want to buy my company because in my database, in my CRM, which we'll talk about shortly, that those contacts in there are so valuable. So that automatically boosts my value of my company as an asset. And then the icing on the cake is I have great human capital and I have a strong automated process for all of us to follow, which is sustaining our business. But ultimately, that network is so important. So the thing is, how do you grow your network? That's what you need to focus on. You want to advertise and promote at all these different platforms, but ultimately you want to bring them back into your circle to build an opportunity for you to have them like and trust you, because then you're able to leverage that, if you will, if that makes sense. And now that I look at these steps here, I have a free 5-step checklist as well as a free 35-minute webinar teaching you how to build professional working relationships from scratch for your business needs. And it's a 5-step checklist, and I have a 35-minute webinar that breaks down that checklist as if you're an introvert. You're not, you got to make a change. You got to meet people, but you don't know how to do it. And you want to know, how do I build a network so large that now I have to have a customer relationship management system to manage my contacts? Like, how do I do that from getting out the bed and building it to a point where it's just overwhelming? I got to hire people to help me manage all these people I have. I have a free 5-step checklist and free 35-minute webinar that you should be able to click in the link to check out for you to help build your network from here to here. And one of those steps in the checklist and in the webinar, one of those tips, one of those insights is less is more. So you're saying, well, how do I get from here to here, but less is more? That's why you have to check out the webinar. And so we know that people have to know, like, and trust you. And you got to think about, okay, if that's the case, I have to build that. So therefore, you want to look at your immediate network and say, well, who's already in my network into which I can leverage? And if you don't, and if you have a network that's not large enough, you want to focus on building your network. And the way you do that is by getting people to know, like, and trust you. If you notice in these circles now, first of all, this circle is very small. If you look at this one, this circle is the largest, and you're able to see the dots a lot more clearly. Now look at these. Imagine these dots, and I think it's pronounced this 6 degrees of separation. Imagine these dots were connected to one another in various which ways. So now you're looking at your network is not only the individuals within that group, but that network is of people usually know other people. So it brings more credibility. It brings more legitimacy to what you're doing. And you'll realize that pretty much everyone's connected in some way. That's why it's important for you to not burn bridges, and for you as an individual to always be sharp, because you don't want to put out a certain message or get into any altercations or challenges and come to find out that who you're having a challenge with, an altercation with, is someone that is connected to you through someone else, and there's more challenges. You want to be seen as an authority figure, and you want to be able to keep things smooth. That's another conversation. So we have a larger network that you must grow, and you realize through 6 degrees of separation that you not only want to build your network, but your network usually is connected and interconnected, which brings more value to you through 6 degrees of separation. So how do you go through the process of knowing, liking, and trust you? Well, the first thing you have to do is advertise. We already know that. That could be organic or that could be paid, however that looks. And your advertising, what you really want to do to build people to know, like, and trust you is you want to use what I would call an inbound marketing approach. You have the outbound marketing approach, which is very effective. I'm a huge advocate of it. And that's knocking on doors, phone calls, emails going out, very effective. LinkedIn messages going out. But you also want to focus on the newer form, which is inbound marketing, which is the beginning of the relational sales process, which is another art, which we can talk about another time. Your inbound marketing will consist of content that shows your expertise and your knowledge and the value you deliver based on what you're providing. And those could be anything from ebooks, checklists, webinars, infographics. The list goes on and on. Social media posts, when it comes to content that you can create, podcast that will build opportunities for people to like and trust you now they know you, if that makes sense, from your advertising. And your advertising is going to be built of the into liking, people going to like you through the inbound marketing process. And then once you start to get people to like you, you want to make sure that you get people to start trusting you. And that's where you have to start fulfilling expectations at the minimum. And one way you do that is by creating and setting up a good follow-up system and a good nurturing process. And you want to do that through utilizing a customer relationship management system. Now, if you need some suggestions on some good CRM systems, customer relationship management systems, or you want to know the systems that I'm using, shoot me a message, a private message in my inbox, DM me, and I'll go ahead and break that down to you. And if you want me to speak on CRM systems to use, just type in CRM in the comments. If I get enough of those where I feel confident to talk about it, then we'll go ahead and do a video for that. And then once you have a good follow-up system and you're using a good customer relationship management system, you want to make sure that you have forms ready to go. FORMs, forms, electronic digital forms, to where people can complete them, put their contact information in, and get the information that you need from them by them completing the form. And then you're able to read the form on your time in a timely manner to be able to adjust and maneuver and do what you have to do. And that form should eventually be tied to some type of calendly or calendar of yours, to where you have an appointment scheduled, because the appointment, which could be seen as a demonstration, is a great way for people to continue to like you and to build trust in what you're offering, if that makes sense. I'm going to leave it there. But that's pretty much the lead generation process. You want people to know, like, and trust you. You want to grow your network. You want to make sure that you know that everyone's connected to some degree. So you want to make sure that you keep challenges to the minimum. And then you want to make sure you're advertising using inbound marketing, having a strong follow-up process with a good customer relationship management system, utilizing those forms so that you can schedule appointments to provide demonstrations, which will help create that likability and that trust for you to make that sale easier, be it sponsorships, ticket sales, traditional transactions. And that's why it's so important to start this process of advertising, building the likability process and the trust process as soon as possible, because you want to be able to market to your network. And if they're not in your network, you want to advertise to get people to come into your network. And so that way you can just simply have a network that you're promoting to. So you're not necessarily promoting to the masses through advertising and all the other stuff. You're promoting specifically to a group that already knows, like, and trust you. And it's your job to figure out who deserves to be in your group. Are they personal friends? Are they business leaders, community leaders, government leaders? If you're in business, you want to make sure you have access to government, community, and business leaders. And that's what makes what I do and my brand so valuable as a relationship management expert when I'm building and managing relationships. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's another subject based upon lead generation, even brand awareness or cross promotion you want to talk about, send me a inbox me a message, send me an email. If there's a link down there as well. If you like to schedule a free 20-minute private advising session, go ahead and there should be a link for you to click for you to book a call with me. I do provide private advising sessions as far as my business, as my advisory services. If you're looking to, find out more insight, access, and resources to grow your brand, and you need more assistance when it comes to lead generation, cross promotion, and brand awareness, which is dealing with marketing and visibility at the end of the day. But I do provide insight into hiring and retention, as well as community insight. When you're looking to do business in urban areas, especially, you need to know what the trends are, what's shifting, what's a good look, what's not a good look, dealing with people here, not numbers, people. It's a whole different game. And so this all starts with a free 20-minute private advising session, talking about anything in those areas that you want to know. So that way we can continue to like what I'm doing and trust what I'm doing when you purchase the service, if that makes sense. So whole process. I want to shout out our sponsor to this daily insight, Intelligent Office, downtown Nashville. Again, your leader in virtual office solutions. Thank you for liking, subscribing, smashing the bell, all those good things. Reach out to me. And if you have any topics for me to speak on when it comes to marketing and visibility, hiring and retention, and community insight, send me a message, shoot me an email, and look forward to connecting with you soon. Peace.